The European Yellowstone. Scientists warn of a possible eruption of a supervolcano in the Mediterranean that has been dormant for almost 500 years. We know that we have tremendous earthquakes going on in the volcanic island of Santorini. It had a super eruption of VI7 1600 BC. We also have the flagrant fields just north of Mount Vesuvius volcano. On June 9, 2023, a new study by Italian seismologists was published in the journal Nature magazine. It predicted the imminent eruption of the Flagree supervolcano, which could become the biggest problem in the world. It's around the area of Naples in Italy. The long-dormant supervolcano is getting closer to a potential eruption for the first time since 1538. Scientists have warned in their new study, and the consequences could be catastrophic. Campi Flegrei, meaning burning fields, is a sprawling, mostly hidden network of 24 craters and structures that stretches from the vast caldera opposite Vesuvius on the western edge of Naples to the nearby Pozzuoli Gulf. The Campi Flegrei volcano, located near Naples, southern Italy, south of Rome, of course, has a crust that is getting weaker and more prone to rupture, making an eruption more likely, the researchers said. More than 1.5 million people live above the huge underground complex of volcano, and 500,000 people have their homes inside its 11-kilometer long crater, which was formed after a huge eruption 39,000 years ago. In the periods in 1950 to 52, 1969 to 72, 1982 to 84, there was a series of serious surface uplifts, sometimes up to 4 meters, that's 12 feet, over 12 feet high. Bursts of earthquakes, an increase in the number of fumaroles, and other inconveniences that led to a panic evacuation of the population. The next rise began in 2004 and continued until 2016, which is quite a long time. Now, the geodesy GPS station is showing the uplift in the area of the Santorini volcano, unfortunately only go up to the year 2016. Now, the geologists in Greece say that the Santorini volcano has gone up 4 centimeters in a month. That's how fast it's inflating there. So, the Campi Flegrei, where if it were to repeat its largest previous eruption, it would eject molten rock and volcanic gases into the stratosphere, trigger a 33.5 meter high tsunami, and send out a plume of sulfur and toxic ash. We're talking about over 100 feet. And here's a map of where it is. So, send out a plume of sulfur and toxic ash that could plunge Earth into a global winter for many years, destroying crops and causing a mass extinction. The researchers published their findings in the journal Communications, Earth and Environment. Our new study, they said, confirms that Campi Flegrei is nearing a break. Study lead author Christopher Kilburn, professor of earth sciences at University College London, said in his statement. However, he warned that this does not mean that the eruption is guaranteed. A rupture can open a crack in the crust, but for an eruption to occur, the magma needs to be pushed out in the right places. The caldera maintains a global increase in the number of earthquakes, which can be observed in real time. There's also an increase in the release of volcanic gases, which can be tracked both by the number of new fumaroles and by the increase in the number of dead fish. In addition, there is deformation at the bottom of the Gulf of Pozzuoli, which does not just rise, but jumps back and forth as if breathing, and this means that the deformations are caused not by the mantle movement, but by the accumulation of gas. And this is the aerial of the various craters that you can see there. Lastly, the analysis of fresh volcanic stones collected from the bottom shows that this is a rock from the very depths. This means that the magma reservoir has good working contact with the plume, and the temperature there is too high to rest peacefully. So the flagrant fields showed all the signs of imminent eruption, although this is not what scares geologists the most. Geologists can only look back 50 or more years, but sometimes this view is quite enough because there's still similar calderas, for example, in New Guinea, in the Pacific, which before eruption shows various alarming signs. One of the signs is a strange decrease in the number of earthquakes against the background of a slowing down of the uplift of the surface. This is exactly what's happening these past 2 days in Santorini. A little bit of slowing down the earthquakes, but the uplift is still going on. Now, but the geologists are not, basically they're squabbling between each other concerning Santorini, geologists with volcanologists. And they're not telling us the details because, they're getting paid by the government. They're just told what to say, not to panic anybody. Now, it's exactly what was observed on Flagree in 2016. And this is what the authors of the study predicted. This is what is happening now. That is, since 2020, there's been a sharp decrease in seismicity, which is a sign of possible imminent underwater explosion. Only recently, the La Palma volcano was seething, which is based on a superplume at the top of which the Mediterranean Sea is flooded, like in a bowl, more precisely, even like in a wine glass. The Mediterranean coast inhabitants watched in shock the water go from the coast beyond the horizon and did not know how to interpret the phenomenon and how to react. This is exactly what's been happening all across the Aegean Sea. On the west coast of Turkey, the sea has receded 300 feet. That's because it's in the area, the underground roof of the reservoirs there, the land under there is inflating. So the sea is going back out. That's what's happening. Now, finally, there are the prophecies of Edgar Cayce in the prophecies of the Athos, and also the prophecies of Mount Athos priests and monks, the elders, and the prophecies of Fatima. Even Baba Vanga, the Bulgaric mystic, predicted that Rome will go underwater before the end of the world. There are enough such signs we are seeing already now: the greening of Saudi Arabia, wars and rumors of wars, pandemics, and so on. Therefore, the warning of the Italian geologists, not everything is so unambiguous. This is on Solask. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.